Alrighty, welcome to a special edition of the Wisco Fanatics show. Today we're going to go through what's going on with the Milwaukee Bucks. And to be fair, there's a lot going on with the Milwaukee Bucks. So much that we didn't want to try to make, like 11 different posts to kind of convey what our thoughts were on all of the things that happened today because so many things happened today. And then we
Mhm.
get reports on reports on reports on what's going on with the things that are happening.
Mhm.
Um, so we're going to give it a couple seconds here. I'm going to let people kind of get in and get going here. But we're going to talk about the Bucks today and the moves that they made and what they've done in free agency. We're not going to dive into Bogo or Mark Sears. I haven't watched a ton of film on them yet since the draft last week. Probably talk about that more tomorrow afternoon and into July as summer league starts. But free agency and trades, but tons and tons and tons of stuff happened between last night and then a gigantic explosion. Jon Horst is a madman, and it's exciting. So we're going to talk about everything that happened today and go through our thoughts on where the Bucks stand. So, getting started here, let's just run through the guys that are back. Bobby Portis is back, 3 years, 44. His third one is a player option. I just want to toot my own horn because I kind of figured that's what was going to happen with Bobby Portis. Basically, another 2-year deal with the third year being the player option again. Reggie and Tyler are excited. Torian Prince, he's back. He's on a
Yeah.
very, very close to the minimum deal. Taylor, welcome. Very close to the minimum deal. The Bucks are building out cheap depth, and I'd be hard pressed to find a guy better than a guy who is a league best 3-point shooter for a big chunk of last season, and when he's at his best, is a versatile defender. Those guys don't grow on trees, and grabbing one for the league minimum, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Kevin Porter Jr. back. We saw the Davion Mitchell extension. He got a 2-year, $24 million deal, and I'm like, shit, Kevin Porter Jr. is going to ask for 10. He didn't. I wanted him between 5 and 7.5, and the Bucks got him for 5.5. So Kevin Porter Jr., pretty team-friendly deal. Then Gary Trent Jr., almost the exact same deal. And Gary Trent Jr. wants to win more than make money.
Good on him, honestly.
And honestly, good on Bobby, too. Like, we didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
I posted it on Twitter, but seeing Naz Reid get $25 million a year and then Bobby Portis settling for less than 15, that's a discount. It's absolutely a discount. Bobby Portis isn't as good as Naz Reid on paper, but they've both been perennial 6-man of the year candidates for the last 3 years.
If you look at them at a side by side profile, both can shoot, both can stretch the floor. They can shoot mid range. They can drive off the dribble. They're both pretty good rebounders. Naz Reid's a little bit better of a defender, but that's really the only difference.
Yeah. Gary Trent Jr. back. Jericho Sims back. The most obvious move that we've seen coming this whole entire offseason. And originally, the Bucks had tendered an offer to Ryan Rollins. That offer was rescinded today after all the other things they had going on. The Bucks also signed Gary Harris today. And then the biggest move and one of the most exciting moves in my mind for the Bucks is the Milwaukee Bucks did get Miles Turner. We got my guy. Jake got his guy last year. I get my guy this year. I have wanted Miles Turner on the Bucks for 3 years. I've wanted him on the Bucks. I was telling Jake, if you've watched our show, you've heard me say it. Michael, welcome in. There's 3 guys at the top of the league that can block shots and shoot the 3 ball. And Brook Lopez was the 3rd guy on that list. Cody, welcome. And the 2 guys that I had above him, Anthony Davis, who was not going to be an option. Like, we're not putting Anthony Davis and Giannis together. And Miles Turner. Miles Turner is the guy that I wanted the most out of anybody that I could have had in free agency. He was my dream free agent. He's a guy I've wanted on the Bucks for 3 years, and he's here.
So let's backtrack for a sec real quick. So you said, I got my guy last year, right? Gary Trent Jr. I remember I was camping when this happened, when we signed him, and I freaked out and I ran outside like, oh my freaking God, they listened to our show. And then they get Miles Turner today. I kind of, I was all excited, and it was a little bit TMI, but I texted Tyler. I was like, thank God I'm already on the toilet, so I don't have to get on the floor. But I was just so shocked. I couldn't believe that we got Miles Turner. Obviously, the move after getting rid of Dame everybody's a little bit down about that. But I took a step back and I thought, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, just let me and Tyler fucking run the team. Just give us a guy to crunch the fucking cap room, bro, and we'll figure it out.
Well played. Tyler said it's Christmas in pert near July. Dude, it's July 1st, and we got Christmas in July. Seriously, the Miles Turner signing, it was my dream signing for the Bucks to be able to add. And while it is sad that Brook Lopez is no longer a Milwaukee Buck, we were talking like yesterday, like, do we get DeAndre Ayton? Like, is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
And it's like, sure, he's averaged a double-double his whole career, but it's like, DeAndre Ayton is the realistic target. Miles Turner is the ideal target.
Yeah.
And now we got him. We got the ideal guy. Michael said my son told me about Turner. I thought he was messing with me because I had mentioned multiple times I wanted him but didn't think we had room. Tyler said it didn't realize it was already the 1st. That it is. Only 30 days in June. Welcome to July.
Bobby Vanilla Day, baby.
So, I mean, the move that they had to make to be able to add Miles Turner is unfortunately to waive Damian Lillard. And it's very sad. It's very, very sad because we wanted Damian Lillard to work out so badly.
We did.
On paper, it was a dream pairing, and with two guys that are so ball dominant, it just didn't work out. And there's no ill will towards Damian Lillard. He was fantastic. Wes, we're feeling great. Dame was fantastic for the Bucks. He just wasn't able to be healthy for the 2 playoff runs. And that's just the reality.
Obviously, Dame being hurt the last 2 years, Giannis getting hurt last year. I mean, things just didn't work out. And the thing that is kind of getting on me a little bit is everybody being like, oh my God, the Bucks did Dame dirty. They're paying out his whole contract. Okay?
Yeah.
He's getting paid the money that he was guaranteed. So there, he's going to be just fine. Secondly, releasing him to allow him to go where he wants to go is great. Now, the first thing that people are going to mention is him going to Miami. Why is that? He's best friends with Bam Adebayo. It makes sense. That's a good pairing. Both of them would be good together, as well as I thought Dame and Giannis would be good together. But really what I want to see Dame do, and I've heard rumors about this too, go back to Portland, finish out your career there, man. Try to get into the playoffs in the stacked Western Conference. That's what I would like to see Dame do. Go back home, and do his thing over there. I think that would be the best way for his career to end, because what is he going to win in the East, dude, with the Heat? The Heat don't really have much depth. And if he goes there, yes, they're going to have him, coming off of an Achilles injury, which if you've ever looked into Achilles injuries, it's very tough for people to come back from. There's only one person that upped their points per game after the Achilles, and that's Kevin Durant, and he's literally a generational scorer, dude.
Yeah.
He's a 7-foot shooting guard. Guy can score wherever he wants.
Yeah.
You're going to lose some explosiveness. I mean, they don't really have much, honestly. I mean, they have Khalil Ware, who's going to be a pretty good player, but they're not in a place to really talk about competing down there in Miami. They got some retooling to do down there.
Wherever he goes, I hope he's happy.
I agree.
We talked about it, the impact of his personal life stuff going on as he was trying to play in Milwaukee. Yep. I can't underestimate how much that weighs on him. And we as Wisco fanatics are a very strong proponent of athletes are people, and we can't 100% take the people aspect out of it. It's not 2K. It's not like that. So the 2 ways that we can kind of look at this. One is, it sucks to lose Damian Lillard, but when the Bucks and the Pacers were playing, we already lost Damian Lillard.
True.
So, I mean, we kind of already went through, the emotions of losing Damian Lillard. It was just now he's officially not on the team. And that was already kind of a rumor that was possible that the Bucks were going to look to move Damian Lillard. Obviously, if he was healthy this offseason, they were going to check in and be like, hey, do you want to stay? And they were going to potentially look into some moves. And essentially what the Bucks did was trade Damian Lillard for Miles Turner without sending Damian Lillard to the Pacers.
Yep.
So we took Miles Turner from the Pacers in exchange for letting Damian Lillard go find where he wants to go. So this brings us to the point. Brook Lopez was a staple for the Milwaukee Bucks in the center. Very many people have said the best free agent signing in Milwaukee Bucks history. You can make that argument, certainly. And I wouldn't disagree with it. There's a bunch of questions coming in and comments on it. Cody said, how lucky are we to have such an aggressive and motivated front office? Said some moves aren't going to work out. That's life. That is absolutely. Wes said all in it to win it. Can't hate it. And Michael asked, do you guys think the mindset of being aggressive could be partially related to the new owner? I think it's partially. But if you go back to 2019, Jon Horst has not been shy about making moves. We saw him move Greg Monroe for Eric Bledsoe. We saw him move Eric Bledsoe for Drew Holiday. We saw him move Drew Holiday for Damian Lillard. And now he moved Damian Lillard for Miles Turner. He's been aggressive for a good while. What I'll say is Haslam is probably going to be willing to take them into the second apron again to get back there if the moves work out. And this is what Jake and I had talked about at the trade deadline when the Bucks moved off of Chris Middleton's contract and got under that second apron. It gave them flexibility that they have in the summer of 2025 and in the summer of 2026. The Bucks, they very well may not be done. They traded Pat Connaughton to the Hornets with a couple of second-round picks for Vasily Micic, who probably going to be let go to create a roster spot for Thanasis. Thanasis is going to be a Buck this year. Just put it down. Thanasis is coming back. And they haven't done anything with that 2031 first-round pick yet.
I'll tell you, there's a free agent guard that's still out there that I wouldn't mind on this team, and his name is Russell Westbrook, and I know people are going to kind of cringe at that, but, dude, he plays defense, he rebounds the basketball, and he will push the pace. Yeah. He's gonna compete.
Yeah, I'd be okay with it.
Give me Russell Westbrook every day of the week because he's going to give you everything he's got.
I would do it. I would take it. And like I said, they still have that 2031 first-round pick that they can trade, so they can still make a trade yet.
Yeah.
Reggie wants Westbrook too. And Cody brought up what I was kind of getting at with the Damian Lillard thing is, yes, the Bucks kind of mortgaged their future today. 3 to 5 years from now, the Bucks are going to be paying dead money on a player, and it's going to hurt them in the salary cap a little bit. But as far as 2025, 2026, and 2026, 2027 go, they freed themselves up some money, and they used it on Miles Turner, which is exciting. And those things, to me, in addition to getting younger, said that they're trying to reopen the window for Giannis. And unfortunately, Dame and Brooke just weren't part of that at 35 and 37 years old.
Yeah.
Cody said we need rebounds and defense desperately. Miles Turner's a good defender. I'm going to pull up some numbers here in just a second, and we're going to compare Brooke Lopez and Miles Turner. But that and rebounds, I think Bobby Portis is your starting power forward this year. And Miles Turner is your starting center.
So you're starting Giannis at the 1?
I am starting Giannis at the 1. So here's the thing is we had this conversation in our back chat that we have. And when the Bucks rescinded Ryan Rollins' offer, people were saying, hey, we don't have a backup point guard. And I said, we do. It's Kevin Porter Jr. And I said, the starting point guard is already on the roster. And it's Giannis. I strongly believe that Giannis is going to be the Bucks starting point guard and be the Bucks primary ball handler. And with that, I'm going to say it now. I think Giannis has a very, very strong chance to average a triple-double this year.
He is second in MVP odds if you want to go bet on it.
Because the Bucks, they could start, just throwing this out there, let's say they start Giannis, Gary Trent Jr., AJ Green, Bobby Portis, and Miles Turner.
You spread the floor. That's all I'm saying.
You definitely spread the floor. Gary Trent Jr. is a good defender. Giannis is obviously a good defender. AJ Green is not a bad defender. He needs work in team defense, but he showed that he's got some individual defensive capability last year.
He has gotten better. He has gotten better with the team defense.
Bobby Portis is not a good defender. Miles Turner, good defender.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the defense isn't bad. Now, second unit, you mean you're relying on Kevin Porter Jr. and Jericho Sims and Kyle Kuzma, but that's just athleticism with those three.
Yeah, you can kind of just let Kuzma go crazy. Just tell him that just like on Washington, like, hey, you're the man, you got to score.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Now, Yeah, and yes, the age difference, and I'm like I said, I got numbers here for you too. And yes, Cody contracts are insane. Devin
Dude.
Booker is going to be eligible to get like 75 million starting next year.
I hope we pay Giannis 82. I don't want him to leave.
He's
It's not
not going
coming out of my
anywhere.
pocket.
And oh, fucking Chris Haynes immediately comes out with Giannis is unhappy with Dame being waived. Per league sources, I swear to fucking God, the next person that I say, see league sources, I'm going to fly through a screen and slap him with a newspaper. This league sources bullshit, it's got to go. It's not real reporting, because I guarantee you that league source is probably somebody's assistant to the assistant GM from the 2017 Dallas Mavericks who's been unemployed in the NBA for 4 years, and that's their league source. If they're not going to give you like any type of actual reporting and they're just going to say league sources, that's somebody to me that's not relevant in somebody's front office. That's just like, hey, Giannis might be pissed. Because immediately Shams came out with an actual report, full report, that the Bucks had like briefed Giannis that, hey, this might be something we do. We might have to waive Damian Lillard, but we want to go for Miles Turner. And then Giannis helped recruit Miles Turner, and people still think that Giannis is unhappy. Dude, he literally helped facilitate and like recruit to bring the guy in that we brought in with the money freed up. You think he didn't know?
Okay, now you're hitting on something. You're dancing around something that's been bothering me all day too. People are saying, somebody said Dame found out just like us. Are you telling me right now that a professional basketball team did not get in contact with Damian Lillard's agent and or Damian Lillard to let him know that, hey, we got some things going down. We really appreciate your time here. I'm sure they were very respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Jon Horst doesn't really cross me as an arrogant asshole. I don't know about you guys. He seems like a pretty nice, down-to-earth guy.
Yep.
So people were talking like he found out like us. No, the fuck he didn't. No, the fuck he didn't.
Probably found out last week.
He probably did. They were probably were like, hey, we're thinking about doing this. This is an option. This is an option. But we want to let you know that, hey, you might be let go. And you know what? All the things I heard about Dame is that he took it in stride. He's back at home with his family in Portland, rehabbing from the torn Achilles. Awesome. And like Tyler said, we wish nothing but the best. We want happiness for Damian Lillard, especially the first year when he was going through all that turmoil with his ex and stuff like that. That's bullshit that nobody deserves to go through. But, bro, Damian Lillard didn't find out like us scrolling on Twitter.
Yeah.
We're not doing that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, Tyler. There's no way.
Let's look into some numbers here. Now, I have the numbers as far as Miles Turner and Brook Lopez are concerned. Mm-hmm. Because what I heard on the radio as I was listening, as I was going to grab lunch after seeing all of the things that are happening, and I'm starting to formulate my own thoughts, I'm thinking, okay, so what are the Bucks kind of giving here? And I hear on the radio, well, Miles Turner isn't an all-star. They're paying him $25 million. Yeah. Chris Middleton wasn't an all-star last year, and they paid him $33. Like, not everybody walking around is an all-star. And shortly after that, and maybe an hour later, the Toronto Raptors agreed to pay Jakob Poeltl only $3 million less over the same term as Miles Turner. Like, dude, we're getting Miles Turner for $3 million more over 4 years than the Raptors are paying Jakob Poeltl.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Jakob Poeltl, but that's either a really big value for Jakob Poeltl or the Bucks are getting a pretty big discount on Miles Turner.
Who's that one dude from the Grizzlies that just got paid like $70 million?
Jaren Jackson Jr.
No, not him.
Not him?
The bench mob dude. I'll have to look up his name. Keep going.
You're not thinking of Santi Aldama, are you?
I think I am. I think he got like $70 million.
Santi Aldama got like $13 million a year.
Yeah, dude, think about that.
He got 4 for 52. And he's like Bobby Portis without the rebounds and the energy.
Yeah,
like he's just a stretch 4.
He just shoots threes. He's getting $13 million. That's insane.
So here we are, Miles Turner, Brook Lopez. My dad said I think they would offer him a long deal cheaper first, and he probably said no. Yeah. You mean for Damian Lillard?
He's talking Dame, yeah. When I was talking about Dame.
Probably not, to be honest with you, because, I mean, He's 35, coming off an Achilles. He's already under contract for this year and next year, and he has a $53 million option for the year after.
Yeah.
There's no way anybody else is paying him $53 million in the 27-28 season, so he's absolutely going to be opting into that.
Yeah, he's going to be 38 years old.
2 years removed from an Achilles injury. So the Bucks are off of it. James, welcome in. We're talking basketball because the Bucks made 17 insane moves today.
Yeah.
So Brook Lopez did have the best back surgery ever.
He did.
Tyler asked if Duncan Robinson's still a free agent. Yes, but I think that move was done to make it so that he can do a long-term deal with Miami. I don't think he's going anywhere. Brook Lopez, best back surgery ever. Since he had the back surgery and missed most of, the 2022 season?
He missed 69 games that year.
And Bobby Portis started 65 games that year. Brook Lopez has been a model of health. Coming off of a back surgery, I commend him for that.
Yeah.
But Miles Turner is going to average more points. He's going to average more rebounds. Now, Miles Turner still not going to be putting up double-digit rebounds like a guy like, say, DeAndre Ayton was. Miles Turner is going to be playing away from the basket like Brook Lopez was. They're going to use Miles Turner in very, 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 very similar ways to how they use Brook Lopez. Mm-hmm. But he's an upgrade in the ways that they do. As you can see, higher three-point percentage by about 2%. Obviously, that's good. Averages more blocks per game, averages more steals per game, both by a smidge. Brook Lopez is a better free throw shooter, has a better effective field goal percentage and box plus minus, but that's kind of due to the players around him. More points, more rebounds, similar number of blocks, slightly better three-point shooting, and he's 8 years younger. He's going to move better. The Bucks upgraded at center. Now, we can go here to defensive win shares. And we can move to defensive win shares. This is props to the Clippers because they have Ivica Zubac and they added Brook Lopez. Like, they're going to have the best shot contesters in the end.
Yeah.
But defensive win shares. Right here, Miles Turner, number 18. Brook Lopez, number 22. So, again, upgrade there. Kim asked if we think the Bucks are done or if they're still making moves. I think they're still making moves. Like I mentioned a little bit before, they did not do anything with that 2031 first-round pick yet. So I don't think they're done. And they're still going to sign somebody else and probably still sign Thanasis.
Yeah, they're signing Thanasis.
Now we can go to defensive field goal percentage. This is within 6 feet. So defensive field goal percentage on shots inside of 6 feet. So this is essentially in the paint / restricted circle area. Right here, Miles Turner. And a little bit farther down, Brook Lopez. So again, there's an upgrade in close to the rim defense. So there's upgrades here.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks made an upgrade from Miles Turner going from Brook Lopez.
Well, the thing that people don't talk about with Miles Turner is he'll dunk you too. Not only can he shoot 40% from outside, he will dunk on you. So now we have two guys, Giannis and Turner, that can come downhill on a secondary fast break and dunk your center. That is going to be very nice to have. I really hope that the Bucks just push the ball every opportunity.
Miles Turner's already used to it, so
have the guards help with rebounding, and then everybody just go. Just see you later. Shoot a bunch of threes. Go to the rim, dunk it.
I gotta see how Miles Turner is as a screener, but like bro, imagine running a Miles Turner Giannis pick and roll.
I mean, big on big like that.
We daydreamed about Dame and Giannis running it, and it didn't. It just didn't work. Like we wanted it to, and the numbers were encouraging because they were improving, but it just didn't work as much as we thought it would.
I think the thing that really held back the Dame and Giannis kind of relationship working out is Dame wasn't as good of an off-ball catch and shooter as we kind of expected him to be.
Yeah.
If he would have been a little bit better in that area, a little bit more efficient, probably win some more ball games. Then you never know.
And availability.
Yeah.
Because even if Dame didn't tear his Achilles, he missed games last season during the Pacers series. That obviously Giannis was out too, but
Mm-hmm.
and then this year again with the calf, and it's obviously not his fault. There's nothing he can do about getting a blood clot in his leg.
Yeah.
But Taylor asked the question, who will be crashing the boards if Turner will be away from the paint on defense? And the obvious answer is Bobby Portis. That's why I love the idea of starting Bobby Portis and Miles Turner. And the Bucks did bring back Jericho Sims, so they have a backup center. So my thought is to start Giannis, Bobby Portis, and Miles Turner all together. Miles Turner is your box out floor spacer, and Bobby Portis is your rebounder. James said we need to get Jake a job as a color commentator. Actually, yeah, make a perfect combo. Tyler as an analyst, Jake on color commentary. We kind of
think this show works, bro.
Some watch parties, we just didn't quite have the draw that we hoped we would. Offensive rebounding, I mean, I think it's still very probable that at least early in the season, the Bucks want to find out how good they are at getting back on defense now that they're younger.
Yeah.
Because that's why they didn't do as much offensive rebounding. And Budenholzer had them kind of doing it in his last year in Milwaukee. And Adrian Griffin came in and said, no, we need to get back on defense. And it's kind of just continued. And that's where the Bucks are at, is they needed to improve defensively more than they needed to improve on offensive rebounding. So offensive rebounding, I mean, once they figure out defense first, then they can get going on, okay, what are we going to do as far as offensive rebounding, whether it's sending a weak side guard or a weak side forward. It's all going to depend on whose hands the balls are in when shots are going up. But, I mean, they could just say, they got the quadrants and the guy up top. It could be the guy from the weak side corner, takes a shot at an offensive rebound. I mean, it could just be a team feel thing. But they have to have defense and transition defense figured out before they figure out offensive rebounding.
Well, there's another. I understand lots of Bucks legends getting rid of Chris Middleton. Guy had no knees and no ankles. Nobody has knees and ankles after that many surgeries. Okay, it is what it is. Brook Lopez.
I still hope he plays well.
Me too. Brook Lopez, father time, undefeated. He's getting older. He's getting slower. Obviously, those things kind of taking a factor into them not crashing the offensive rebounds. I like crashing the offensive boards, put pressure on the offense, to actually crash, and then you can slow them down as well and give yourself a chance to get back if they have to worry about you crashing. So I think getting younger, more athletic, they will crash the boards, but I think that, like you said, that'll be a wrinkle they add later in the season once they get, stability and these new guys used to everything, which we don't have too many you guys. It's Miles Turner and Gary Harris, really. So stability is a good thing for the Bucks. Everybody complaining yesterday that we're just bringing back the same people. It's a good thing. Okay?
Good thing. Not today, we're not.
No, not today. Today we made a move.
I'll throw out a couple guys just on far as offensive rebounding goes. Kyle Kuzma is the first one that comes to mind. And
I thought of too.
This is going to be definitely Ajax's last chance to crack the rotation.
There's a guy that could crash the boards.
We need him to be able to do something offensively.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a very important summer for him to figure out if he's going to be able to add something offensively that can justify you having him out on the floor, that you can't just rest a defender guarding him because off the ball he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
So this is Gary Harris. This is the other guard that the Bucks brought in. Now, I understand you're going to look at his last season and see that he averaged 3 points. He also only played 15 minutes. Why the Magic didn't buy this guy out and let him try to sign somewhere seems kind of dickish by the Mavericks or the Magic to me, to not let this guy try to find somewhere to play if you're only going to give him 15 minutes a game and he's averaging 3 points. Like, let the guy try to sign somewhere that actually wants a shooter. And the thing is I talked about this with the Magic as a potential trade candidate. They were horrible at 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
Why is a guy who's shooting 36% on threes and is a career 37% 3-point shooter sitting on your bench rotting? You go back a couple years, and he was averaging double-digit points, shooting 38%. This is the kind of Gary Harris that the Bucks are going to be wanting, is the one that the Magic thought they were getting, changed coaches, and then they're like, yeah, we're not going to use him.
Yeah.
So Gary Harris, at the least, is another capable shooter.
Yep.
What I will say, my ceiling for him, and I understand that he's not as good of a defender, but my ceiling for what I hope Gary Harris can bring to the Bucks is that I hope he's like a second Gary Trent Jr.
Hell yeah.
That's my hope would be.
Yeah.
So I understand, the point numbers and that he's, not a great rebounder, but again, he's at career averaging 10 points. He's an 81 career percent free throw shooter. He's a 37% career 3-point shooter. He's guard depth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we're at with Gary Harris. Now, Bucks traded Pat Connaughton. Like we said, they got Vasily Micic, who probably going to be just waived and let go. And then the Bucks will have a little bit more flexibility as well.
Like $8 million.
So we are in a position where the Bucks have potentially Ajax that they could trade. They have a 2031 first-round pick that they could trade. I believe they have, between the Micic being released and what they had left, I want to say like around $10 million to spend.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, you figure a veteran minimum for Thanasis, which they can do over the cap, so Thanasis could be signed in August for all I care.
Yeah.
But he's going to be on the roster.
He will be.
And now with Micic potentially gone and the offer to Rollins rescinded, I want to say 2 open roster spots. I didn't write them all down, but I mean, we can try to do it real quick and see how many guys we have.
Well, and then somebody we don't even mention is Tyler Smith, a guy who it's a very important summer for him as well, a guy who can stretch the floor. He's got a lot of athletic ability. If he, honest to God, if he can put the ball on the floor within the next year or two, he will start getting some playing time.
Yep.
Once he figures out how to play with a little bit more strength and balance, putting the ball on the floor, it's over. Because then he's going to take Bobby's spot.
Which is what I wanted him for. So,
and that's
2 years of Bobby for Tyler Smith to become the next Bobby, and we're in business.
Yeah. And then at that point, like you're talking, and I'm talking future, right? I'm not just talking like next year. I'm talking future. At that point, I mean, Kevin Porter Jr. could establish himself, right? And he could, greetings from Greece.
Oh, welcome.
What up? What's going on?
Very excited about what the Bucks are doing today.
Yeah. You want to go through roster real quick?
Yep.
So you got Kevin Porter Jr., Andre Jackson Jr., AJ Green, Kuzma, Giannis, Bobby, Sims, Turner. Those are the 8 off the top of my noggin.
So, okay, I'm just gonna rattle what I have off. Tell me if I miss anybody. Kevin Porter Jr., Gary Trent Jr., Giannis, Bobby, Miles Turner, Kyle Kuzma, AJ Green, Ajax, Gary Harris, Tyler Smith, Jericho Sims, and then 3 two-ways. Yeah. Now, Bogo, if they stash him overseas, that would free up a roster spot.
Yep.
Which is potentially a motivator in them drafting him. I'm not going to lie to you. The Bucks are going to tell you that they liked him and they valued him higher, but the fact that they could draft him and stash him overseas if they want an open roster spot, I would believe that's a factor.
Yeah.
So that could be potentially one open roster spot. Now, Ajax is potentially a spot. Yep, Taylor, we did talk about that with Micic. So that would open one. If they stash Bogo, that would be potentially one. Livingston is the other guy. Livingston I've seen as a guy is potentially waived as well. I'm okay if they keep or waive him. Like, I like the potential, but I mean, he's kind of like basically Keston Hira, where he like dominates in the lower league and then he comes up and doesn't do much.
Yeah, he needed to go to a team like a shitty team that has minutes for him to play and develop on the fly.
Yeah. So I would say one signing, and they'll find a way to get Thanasis back.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see them trying to package Ajax and the first-round pick to do something else yet.
I can see that. What they're going to do, who knows? I didn't think they were going to release Damian Lillard and sign Miles Turner today, so I know nothing.
I was hoping they'd sign Miles Turner, and I didn't know it would take releasing Damian Lillard to do it, but again, we kind of talked about this. We already lost Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be talking Brewers. It was once all this news was breaking, I'm like, I'm not thinking about anything other than basketball right now.
Yeah.
So that's how the last 3 hours have gone for me. 4 hours have gone for me. But other than that, we will talk about some of the Bucks draft picks and the summer league coming up. We might just wait until summer league starts, which is next week. So
The 10th,
next Wednesday we'll discuss it. But Jake and I will talk and figure out how we're going to do that. But the Bucks made moves, and I give Jon Horst a lot of credit because the amount of things that he pulled off today, especially in a 2-hour span, is incredible. I cannot imagine the amount of work that it took for Jon Horst and the Bucks front office to be able to pull off everything that they did today and make it work within the NBA salary parameters.
He probably ended up like that meme where that guy's sitting there.
I mean, I was thinking of Bruce Almighty when he's just.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's what Jon Horst did, and we both said it that when Jon Horst's contract was extended, we knew that Jon Horst and Giannis were tied together. And what Jon Horst did today, coupled with what he did yesterday, is he made the Bucks roster significantly younger. And Taylor Jake was getting from the Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and made the Bucks roster significantly younger. And in that process, I believe extended the window for the Bucks to try to open the window a little bit longer for Giannis.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Brad Pitt in Moneyball when he's munching on the popcorn and he spits out all the popcorn kernels to keep wheeling and dealing the trades. Honestly, I'm excited. Like, obviously, not having Damian Lillard, we didn't have Damian Lillard. We already didn't have Damian Lillard this year. The earliest we were probably going to be able to get him back was maybe January. And at 35 years old, they probably wouldn't have rushed him. So we're looking at like the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Trevor said, I think we should have kept Rollins. He's a good fit for the team. I mean, he's not a bad fit, but I think if they have cash, a little bit of cash to spend, I think there's upgrades available.
I did like Rollins. I liked Rollins a little bit more than Tyler did, but I do agree with Tyler in this one where if you can make an upgrade with the little bit of money that they were going to pay Rollins, if that's what is holding us back from an upgrade, I'm not going to question Jon Horst. And I want people to take a step back and appreciate the GMs in this state. We've talked about this before. Yep. Jon Horst, that guy's always going for it. Love that. He's a super hyper aggressive. Always been that way. Love that. You think about the Brewers. Now, Matt Arnold has to do it a little bit different way because of the money situation that happens in baseball. But, dude, Matt Arnold, fucking stud. And talking about the Brewers real quick, give you guys a little bit of recap here. We got Freddie and Mizorowski back-to-back against a Mets team that has been very bad the last couple of weeks. But they have the best record in baseball at home, so that is a little bit of an equalizer. But we have our two best pitchers on the mound. Hopefully some good news with Woody coming back soon as well. Then you think about the Packers. Good has done nothing but win since he's come here. Yeah. Nothing but win.
Super Bowls.
He drafted the backup franchise quarterback. He got Matt LaFleur to come in, and Matt LaFleur is very, very underappreciated in this state.
Yep.
Matt LaFleur is a stud. I want people to understand that. Just saying, the GMs in this state, phenomenal. And I think McIntosh is doing the right things at Wisconsin. He's kind of the GM, as you would think of it in
as the AD.
Sports. He's done the correct things, I think, trying to be aggressive, with the football team and the basketball team, volleyball team, etc. The GMs in the state are phenomenal.
Yeah. And, I'll throw this out there. It was said to me by somebody, people wanting LaFleur fired is great.
I'm not listening to that ever.
I'm going to throw this out there. Because, like Jake said, this was last night after the Bucks brought back Gary Trent and Taurean Prince and Kevin Porter Jr., that people are like, oh, my God, we're really just going to run this team back, aren't we? And Jon Horst went out today and said, no, we're going to fucking go for it.
Yeah.
And, I understand because the Bucks literally won a championship this way, and so did the Denver Nuggets right after them. but the Boston Celtics 2 years ago and the Thunder this year really showed that you can get by with one superstar and a shit ton of depth. And the Pacers just got to the finals with no superstars and a shit ton of depth. So
They had a bunch of really good players, but
yeah, and that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Obviously, Miles Turner was one of them. So we just brought a guy who was just in the finals, and the Pacers now are without Miles Turner and obviously without Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah, so they lost 2 people.
Keeping Gary Trent Jr., who showed himself to be a playoff riser. That dude went insane in 2 playoff games.
Yeah, he did.
AJ Green, continued improvement. We saw good improvement from AJ Green last year.
He is this fucking close, dude. He is this close.
And if you still need somebody to shoot your deep threes, AJ Green's your Huckleberry.
He'll be just fine.
Brought back Kevin Porter Jr., who Jon Horst stole Kevin Porter Jr. for Marjon Beauchamp.
Yeah, and now he's only paying him $5.5 million. And he's gonna have multiple 25, 30-point outings. I guarantee it.
Dude, yeah, 9 threes in game 3 was insane.
Dude, we were at the draft. That was 5, bro.
He was one away from breaking the franchise record.
Yeah, it was.
Obviously, we need improvement from Kuzma, or maybe heard the Bucks were shopping him, so there's an option there. Jake and I talked about it when we did our transaction potentials. And Jericho Sims as your backup center, I like it. Bobby Portis, we know what we're getting from him. We're getting a double-double every game.
A guy that can switch on defense. He can catch lobs. So, I mean, yeah, I like Sims a lot. He fits with the team what they needed.
I'm hoping Pete Nance sticks around as well because I like him as like the third string center.
Yeah, he's a good project player. I like that as well.
And I like his athleticism. So, I mean, Gary Harris brought in his depth. Taurean Prince kept in as depth. I mean, there's depth here. The Bucks, I mean, if Gary Harris can fill a role the way that like Andrew Nembhard did for the Pacers, the Bucks have the depth and a superstar in what we know is a wide open Eastern Conference.
We have the best player in the conference. I'm not arguing with anybody.
It's easily.
We have the best player in the conference, and we just added depth. We have a chance.
And 2019, we saw Kawhi carry a team to a championship.
Yep.
We've seen it done. We saw Curry carry a team to a championship recently.
And before anybody says anything about Pascal Siakam, he was not known as this Pascal Siakam at that time when Toronto won.
Project P.
He was pretty good. He had some moments, but yeah, he wasn't the name that he is today.
Pascal Siakam today would have been Finals MVP if the Pacers won Game 7.
It's fucking A, you would have.
Even if Tyrese Halliburton was healthy.
Yeah.
So the Bucks, they got younger, they got deeper, they flattened out kind of the talent around Giannis and spread it out a little bit more, which what we just saw in the last year finals between the Thunder and the Pacers is how you're going to win championships today.
Yep.
You're going to win it by having like a 9 or 10 man rotation instead of like a 7 or 8.
And that's what the new CBA wanted. The new CBA
that's true.
Didn't want super teams. They wanted everybody to have a superstar because they want to be able to market every single brand.
Every team,
although ESPN doesn't understand that because they still want to take Giannis out of Milwaukee. But they want every brand to have their own guy, right? Yeah. And that's totally fine. I like the Miles Turner signing next to Giannis. That's going to be important. I have to respond to Steve because I have something funny I want to say. The funny thing about Entitlement Town and Packers fans that live there is Entitlement Town is where their head is shoved up their ass. I had to say that, dude. I wanted to say that for so long.
Trevor said, I think Turner's finals experience could be really important if we make it there. He knows what has to be done and knows how it needs to be done. So do Giannis and Bobby. And people
Doc.
don't like it. That's what I was just going to say. So does Doc Rivers. And people are going to be like, ooh, I don't like Doc Rivers. Like, understand he's been there. Obviously, the experience is there. And here's the thing. Giannis Antetokounmpo loves Doc Rivers. I am not in a position to question Giannis.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing about about having Doc Rivers is he gets Rajon Rondo around the team, and Rajon Rondo gets to mentor Kevin Porter Jr. this entire offseason. That's something that people are not talking about. Also, I have news from the Brewers game. They are rained out today. So I think they're doing a doubleheader from what I've seen.
Doubleheader tomorrow. All right.
So the Mets get to go from – so I just talked about Freddie and Mizorowski. They get to face them both in one day. Lucky them, dude. Lucky them.
They get to do what the
Cubs did.
The Cubs didn't want to do last week.
Trevor, I agree. I was actually very excited to watch the Brewers today. I was like, oh, yeah, dude. That one day off,
That's
man.
why we were doing this now and not tonight, because we're like, oh, we got a Brewer game later.
Yeah. Oh, well. That's okay.
Just more time to sit on basketball, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this isn't the last we're going to talk about it, obviously. We're going to have another conversation in the beginning of the year when we get, ready to start doing primers and stuff like that. But the amount of moves that happened today, we wanted to jump on and talk about it and instead of trying to make, 18 different posts about all the moves that made today. We wanted to get on and give our thoughts and get some input. So we appreciate all the comments and everybody that took the time to jump in and watch as well. It's a new day for the Bucks. We've been through kind of a couple of these transitions where the roster kind of really shakes up, but I would say this is probably the biggest roster shakeup since the year before the championship. I really think this is a bigger roster shakeup than adding Drew Holiday. I really do, because I was just bringing in one guy to create a big three, and the Bucks, they let one guy go and brought in a lot of guys and kept a lot of their same guys. And still have the ability to add some more yet.
Last topic of discussion. Brook Lopez needs his jersey retired by the Bucks. And if anybody disagrees with that, I do not respect your ball knowledge.
I would say Drew Holiday's is up a little bit for contention. If his should be retired, I'm okay either way, honestly. But 11 and 22 are unquestionably retired. 11 and 22 guaranteed retired. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yes. All righty. Again, this is not the last time we'll be talking Bucks. Probably as soon as next week, even to get discussing about some of the summer league stuff. But again, thanks everybody for hopping as well. 34 was never in question.
34 is retired right now.
34 was retired in like 2020. Steve, the Bucks save like $6-ish million down. Yeah. Yes, Wes, hang them. Yeah. So the Bucks
is going to have a 40-foot statue outside the stadium.
Some ability. Yeah. Giannis is getting a statue too.
40.
All right. All right. Take care, everybody. Again, thanks for the comments, and we'll see you soon. And I cannot wait for Bucks basketball.